This is Let's Talk Business with your hosts, Marc Ebinger and Heather Boehme. Now, here's Marc.
Welcome to Let's Talk Business, a show that talks entrepreneurship with some of the best businesses in the San Antonio area. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk with Wendy Griffin, the owner of Wendy's Cleaning Service. Wendy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Hi, Heather. How are you?
Hi, Wendy. I'm good. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, in studio with us today, as always, is Heather Boehme, a certified business coach that works with business owners to gain clarity and achieve their goals. Heather, welcome back.
Always happy to be here.
I have a feeling this is going to be a lot of girl talk going on. I feel like I might get left out.
Finally, the show is usually a boys' club, so
Is it really?
there's a lot of men that come on this show.
There are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've talked to my team about this. Not my fault. I don't. They do
How
most of the
dare you.
inviting. I'm your host, Marc Ebinger, the owner of Crükus Marketing Agency, a company that specializes in giving small businesses a competitive edge by hiring low-cost administrative and social media experts so that you can grow and grow and grow, which is what I did and how I built my company. A quick reminder for our listeners, you can catch video and podcast versions of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. And if you're a business owner in the San Antonio area and like to have your company featured on the show, visit our website at satalkradio.com or call our office at 210-960-8210. That's 210-960-8210, which is how. So Wendy, there's a funny story you were telling. I'm like, wait, I want to catch this on the show. But so how did you end up getting contacted to be on the show? Tell me about that process real quick, because it's a funny story.
Actually, I'm a dental assistant, and I was actually out taking out the trash, and my company phone rings, and the lady's like, would you like to be on the radio show? And I've been getting so many scam calls. I told the lady to get off my phone, and I hung up on her. I was like, and she called again. She was like, no, this is not a scam. And I was like, a radio show? Yeah, sure. But actually, once I got off work, I went home and I said, oh, God, I think I owe her an apology.
Well, that was pretty good. She called you back, though, right?
Yeah.
She's persistent.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, your virtual assistants are working kind of in the background. We don't really notice it. But I went to a ribbon cutting one day. And generally when I'm at these ribbon cuttings, I'm like, oh, it'd be great to have you on the show. And the girl I was talking to was like, are you from that podcast? And I was like, I don't know. She was like, well, what podcast are you? And I was like, well, Let's Talk Business San Antonio. She was like, we just got off the phone with you yesterday. And I was like, oh, that wasn't me. And so we looked really cool because I was there in person, but they'd already been contacted.
Yeah, it's good to have a team doing that stuff for you. Because it really, I've got about 6, I think, administrative staff that work for me. So instead of 8 hours a day, I'm getting 48. Actually feel 56 hours a day of work, which really kind of helps magnify everything you're doing. And the low cost of outsourcing outside the United States just makes everything very obtainable. I would never have been able to grow to what I'm doing now if it wasn't for virtual staffing.
So what are some of the most popular roles that people are hiring your virtual staffing for right now?
Well, to cover administrative tasks such as like data entry, CRM, handling inbound, outbound calls, customer service issues, lead generation too, which is kind of nice. We've got this thing we're doing now. I call it the omnipresent campaign, where I have folks, like say a business owner says, hey, I want to connect with other like mortgage loan officers. Okay, cool. So I have my team go and scrape a whole bunch of mortgage loan officers in the city, right? Whatever it is that they're looking for, we'll go scrape them all so we know who the decision makers are, their phone number, their email, their address. All of the stuff comes from LinkedIn. Sales Navigator is a great way to get a lot of that stuff for you. Or you can hire somebody off of Fiverr to do it. And then we put it into a spreadsheet, and then we start going through with connecting to their social media. We send them emails, phone calls. But they're on a campaign where we rotate that so that every month they're going to get some kind of connection with us. So we stay top of mind. And so they know, hey, if I want to be on a podcast or I want to do virtual assistant staffing for social media or administrative stuff, this is the company that keeps coming up in front of me. So it's a pretty smart system, I think.
Omnipresent campaign. Is that something you came up with, or did you find that somewhere else?
Well, it's a term that's out there, meaning that you're kind of everywhere all the time. And my team keeps our stuff everywhere all the time, which is kind of slick. So are you on social media, Wendy?
I am. I'm looking for somebody to take over my social media.
Oh, well, we'll talk after. But but that is a chore. So here's the analogy that I use for that is like a restaurant owner. So there's the hostess, there's the waitress, and there's the chef, and there's the owner. Does the owner do the hostess stuff? No, they could come in and fill in or something for like a couple of minutes, right? But they're generally busy marketing the business and doing the other things. So, and they're not the waitress or the chef or anything else. So it's like social media is one of those positions now that it's an employee position because you can leverage it and stay in front of the people you want to stay in front of, especially if you're targeting them. And do you do a lot of residential or commercial?
Mix of both.
Okay. So commercial is easier to target and it's less invasive than like calling homeowners saying, hey, we'd like to clean your house, right?
Yeah.
Then
You
they
wanna-
think you're a scam calling them.
Yeah.
Right? Now hang up on you, right? But with business owners, our system works really, really well with that. So like commercial accounts and stuff like that could be like, well, who do you want to get in front of? That's just something that we're really, really good at doing. And I enjoy it. And I love the idea of not just one-time contact, but let's do it over a period of a year or 2 years. It's just that constantly being in front of them is a smart play. So anyway, that's kind of how I roll.
Well, and I think people don't even like consciously realize sometimes when you're in front of them that much until they find a need for what you're offering. I've heard that before many times where they're like, oh, I didn't really need that, but then I realized I did. And they're the first person that came to mind because they were just getting an email. They were popping up on my Facebook. They popped up on my Instagram so that as soon as that need, I need a cleaner. I need a social media person. You are just the embedded expert in that because you're just there all the time. It's like
And something that helps too
psychological.
is that because I put out podcast content, and I put out a lot of podcast content, I'm not always in people's face saying, hey, buy my stuff. I'm like, I'm putting out good content, which I think is one of the benefits of running a podcast or being involved in a podcast is because you can produce, as an expert in your field, you can produce content that the people get like tips. You know what I mean? We're going to go through some of that stuff with you today on what makes you an expert in your area. And of course, we're going to talk entrepreneurship, some of my favorite stuff. But let me introduce you properly. First up on the show is Wendy Griffin, the owner of Wendy's Cleaning Service. It's right here in San Antonio, but you're also in Southern California, right? So you're kind of like a national brand now, right?
Well, it was a big decision to reopen up the California one, but I just said I have to go back kind of to my roots. I'm a Cali girl at heart. So I said, let me start there and maybe get that where I want it and then maybe get my name out there and bring it out here the proper way. Because maybe I didn't have a good start out here. So, but it's going good.
Good deal.
So tell us a little bit about what started the cleaning company in general. And then I want to explore a little bit more your cross-country business model here.
Well, I got started. It was around kind of COVID time. I was just doing Uber. I had a hard time looking for a job and getting a job because I couldn't pass the background. And after having so many doors slammed in your face, you're just like, forget it. So I turned myself into a full-time Uber driver. And then that didn't work out because I ran 2 red lights. I said, whoa, this is getting kind of serious. I'm getting too tired. I can't keep doing this. So I was at a red light and I just said, God, what can I do to make $100? Show me what I can do to make $100. I didn't think he was going to answer me. And then my cousin called me and said, hey, have you heard of Thumbtack? I said, I can't pass the background. She goes, you don't have to pass the background. I said, well, I'm listening. You're like, hey. So she said, start up a profile and to get you leads and you have to buy them. And I said, if I can't pass the background, which means I don't have a job, which means I don't have money, how am I going to buy leads? So I ended up doing it, starting up the profile. And I just said, I don't know if this is going to work. And my sister worked for the Census Bureau at the time. And she was working like over 80 hours a week. And she said, hey, I need for you to clean my house. I pay you a couple $100. I said, hey, I'm broke anyways. So, hey, let me get started. I cleaned her house and I said, hey, I'm on this Thumbtack thing. Can you write me a review? It's probably going to go nowhere, She said, sure. I said, okay. And she wrote the review. By the time I woke up, I had like 4 people reaching out to me. And I was like, whoa, okay. And the first guy, he was in Lancaster. I did a good job. He's like, oh, I see you pay attention to details. And I was like nervous, like, I don't know this guy. Just popped up at this man's house to clean it. And I made him $100 plus more in that one day.
So tell me about that first time out. So you go out to Lancaster to do this job. Is it you by yourself?
Yes. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I'm scared. I was like, probably going to be kidnapped in somebody's basement.
You're watching too much Silence of the Lambs.
Like, I was terrified. I was like, God, Lee, do I need to share my location? I was scared.
Yeah.
I was scared because I'm just going to a stranger's house and not knowing what I'm walking into. I knock on the door. He's like, Wendy. And he had like one of those like 1989, like the screens. And I couldn't see him. I said, oh, I'm dead. Like, oh, I'm shaky, like walking to man's house. And he was like, okay, well, but I just need you to focus on the bathroom and focus on this. And I was like, okay. And I just got started. I kind of just blacked out and just cleaned.
Well, don't say blacked out.
Well, no.
Let's not say blacked out. Right?
I
woke up and I was in this well at the bottom of it, and there was.
And the house was clean though. So.
Well, no, just kind of like, he told me what he wanted to do, and I just had my materials and went at it. And he said, "Wow, he said you took a long time." I said, "Well, is that bad?" I mean, I wasn't too sure because you cleaning families' houses, you can take all day. I clean my sister's house. We're watching, Martin and eating cookies and joking and laughing, and I don't have to go home. I can sleep on the couch. So clean the stranger's house. It's like,
get into it.
Time's up, girl.
Yeah.
So after that, I got another call. She was attorney in Rancho.
Well, so this guy, did he give you a review?
He did.
Okay.
He did. 5-star
Yeah.
on Thumbtack. Yeah, it went well. He showed pictures of like, this was before, this was after. And I was like, oh, okay.
And that's the game, isn't it? We're like, I'm not very familiar with Thumbtack, but your reviews, right? That's what gets
the reviews are key. You have to buy a lead, like, I may have one lead that's like $10. I may have another one that's $25. I may have one that's $50. So my whole goal was if I'm paying $10, I want to make that at least $120 back or $160 back. So I have to make sure I have everything in ABC order. So when they contact me, from the moment that I answer that phone, I know my product. Hey, what is it that you're looking for? There's 3 different kinds of cleans: standard clean, deep clean, and move out clean. So how can I help you? So nailing that is the key. The number one of complaints, people they don't answer their phone when they're looking for a cleaning service. So it's like hey, you picked up, huh?
No.
Like
Shocking.
yeah, I was kind of like I didn't know how to respond to that. Yes, I make sure I answer my phone all
Think
the time.
about how the way, of course, my brain's already working on that, right? It's like I have people that answer my phone. They got like 3 or 4 different phone lines, and they're manned throughout the day. That just answering the phone is a huge win when somebody's calling, already representing your company at a high level. How can you do that if you're cleaning houses? Or are you office admin for your business?
I'm everything. I just make sure once my phone rings and I don't recognize the number, I answer it. I pick it up. It may be a bill collector, it may be a client. So it's one or the other. And then I started to say, how can I get quicker at it? So I started, Thumbtack has a blank spot where you're able to kind of like tell a little bit about yourself. So they want to choose you. So my goal was to keep that 5-star rating up. So the first client was in Lancaster. So I have 2 5-star reviews at this point, my sister and then the guy from Lancaster. And then next is like, you have to stand out. You have to stand out. The next one was attorney in Rancho. And I was like, oh, wow, now I'm stepping with the big dogs. Can't half step. Get in there. So then I started doing, my youngest son's dad gave me this idea to do walkthroughs. And I said, well, what is a walkthrough? If I have to do more work, I don't like to do more work, And I'm just like, gosh. And he said, no, you go in and you present your services. And I just kept thinking. Okay, so I got to go in and give a live presentation. So I go in and I'm like, okay, just show me around your house. What do you want me to do? And they give me a tour. And when I started, I had the clipboard and a sheet of paper, and that was fine. And then I said, Wendy, you need to step it up. More clients start coming, and I'm still maintaining a 5-star review. So now at this point, I'm in competition with myself.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
So I turned around and I walked in T-Mobile. I said, hey, I have a full cleaning business. At that point, I had 10 clients. I'm looking kind of old school here. I do not want to buy an iPad because it's $800-some. No, I don't want to buy it. But for my business and for my brand, I need to be paperless now. And they showed me this iPad, and I'm just like, golly. But that took off. Now I'm doing in-home walkthroughs. I bust on my iPad, and they're like, "You're so professional." And I go, "But this is what you guys are paying for." From the moment I answer my phone, from the moment that you guys book your in-home walkthroughs, from the computer, now I'm paperless. I have an IT guy, Benji, back home. He puts together the paperwork for me. I tell him, like, this is what I want. You know, I know I get on his nerves because I'm always changing something. Like, I know he's tired of me sometimes.
Every time something happens,
I
you got to
call him over
change
the
the
weekend.
paperwork.
Hey, Benji, can you make some more changes? I'm moving. Oh, God, leave. So let me just be patient. But, yeah, I make sure every time I step up my game. Within, like, maybe the first 2 months, I already had company T-shirts. That was around when George Floyd, got murdered. So I just said, hey, I'm walking in people's houses. They don't know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Your neighbor does not know me, Heather. They just know Heather's at work. Who is this girl going inside her house? That's all they know.
Yeah, the uniform helps.
So I said, hey, I need to step up my game. We start with the company T-shirts.
Now, your clients, are you getting repeat business from, like, you're doing it every week?
I have once a month service. So I have once a month clients. I have biweekly clients. So I'm looking to build like more commercial. Right now I have 2 out here in San Antonio, JB Goodwin, and another small company out here. But I would like to get more commercial and some more houses as well.
And you grew your business in California to, I think you'd mentioned 30 clients and 8 employees.
Mm-hmm,
and then
correct.
you're growing here in San Antonio as well. How did it change and shift when you went from just you doing everything? You're the one cleaning, you're the one doing the walkthroughs, and you had the 5-star reviews, to managing a team and upholding that same quality and standard?
Difficult. Because the first mistake was when me and my family went out to go visit my brother in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And I had fully booked, had the girls go out to do a job. Once those pictures start coming in my phone, pictures are just not good. And it's like, this is what they did wrong. And my thing is, how hard is it to follow directions? It's not that difficult. But then that Wendy, she didn't have a checklist. So I said, hey, Heather, can you go in and do this deep clean? This is what you have to clean, A, B, C, D. I'm hoping that you can go in and clean A, B, C, D, not
Mm-hmm.
E, F, J, W. No, the alphabet is always in order. That's the way I need you to clean. So I'm on vacation in an RV trying to enjoy my family. And then the lady says, I'm not paying because the job wasn't done right. Well, now I'm out of $500. Who's going to pay me my $500?
Right.
I need my money. And I sent 2 people out there to go do a job. And how does the bathroom get skipped? The bathroom, to me, is the main part of the house, the bathroom and the kitchen. So I said, my mom said, I told you, you're going to have problems. And I just sat
But that's a
back.
training issue, right? I mean, it's a hands-on
Yes.
walking them through training issue.
And those girls were trained.
Yeah. So they just chose not to do it.
Mm-hmm. So
Did you fire them?
Oh, I did. That's my favorite word, fired. That's my favorite word. But then I had to go back to the drawing board. I had an office manager. So what I found, getting that big, it has its pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
Being a small business owner, my parents owned a trucking company for over 30 years. So I was actually getting a lot of tips from my mom on how to really do the business side. And the main thing is you have to make sure people are hands-on. But when I tell you to clean a house, if I'm giving you that direction, how much are you listening to what I'm telling you to do? So people hear probably about, I say 5 to 7% of what they're told.
That's low.
Yeah, that is very
Yes.
low.
And when I'm having you go inside a house and the house is 2,000 square feet, my thing is, Mark, are you really listening to what I'm telling you to do? Hey, can you go in that bathroom? Can you clean the toilet, the sink, the bathtub, the baseboards, the cabinets? Okay, you go in this room, you got to clean this, this, and this, and this. Okay, we got to go in the kitchen, you got to clean the oven, you got to clean the...
Do they have a checklist they're working
Now,
from?
now they do, but then they didn't. So
gotcha.
remember earlier I said I'm always in competition with myself. I didn't have a checklist then in 21. That's why the people were making the mistakes. Now I said, nope, I cannot have that. So now I'm giving you a full-blown checklist. And I'm telling you now, if you mess this up, now we all got problems.
Yeah.
Because I have it where outside cabinets only, vacuum, carpenters, rugs. And the clients actually receive a copy of it as well. So when they get
Good.
the initial estimate of what they agreed to pay, I attach the checklist, whether it's a deep clean, a standard clean, or move in. So the client, and I let people know at the time of hire, Don't come over here trying to play me for a fool, because my clients know what you're supposed to be coming in their home cleaning. And they go, oh.
They can go through the checklist as
Yep.
well as you can.
So we all have to communicate across the board.
What do your clients like about your service? What's the positive feedback you get?
Punctual, paying attention to details. I think that I would say punctual. That's my main thing. That
because
irks my nerve.
Somebody comes into your house and you want them to show up on it because you're budgeting your own time in your house. Like I office out of my house quite a bit.
Right.
It's like you're going to interrupt my flow of stuff, so
Right.
be on time and get done quick and get it done the way my wife likes it done.
See, paying attention to details resonated with me a little harder even because, like, that's the thing. People resonate with different things.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me a few examples of what paying attention to detail means to you versus everybody else that's already out there with the cleaning business?
Well, I've actually came behind different cleaners and cleaned, and I just go, I tell my clients, "Oh, I'm blunt. I'm, ooh, you pay for that?" I'm like, "Oops, sorry, I said it out loud." Like, I try to oops, sorry. But it's like, I have a video, and it's the first time I actually recorded myself. I asked a client, and she bought a house in Victorville, and her realtor paid for a cleaning company or a cleaning lady to come in. And I did the home walkthrough, and she was really nice. She said, "I'm not happy with the service." I said, "Okay, show me, what you're not happy with. Show me what they came in and did." And by the time I hit the first one, I said, "What did they do?" I'm like, "Oops, sorry, see, oops." Because sometimes it's just the bluntness in me just comes out. And I said, "You need a refund." But when we got to like the living room area, and I said, she goes, "I know, Wendy, don't say it." I was like, "Did she wipe the wall?" I mean, the wall's black.
Oh.
Like the dirt. And I just said, "What?" I said, "How long was she here?" She said, "For 3 hours." I said, "You can't do no move out cleaning in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell me you can clean a house from top to bottom in 3 hours." So I had my client record me just wiping the dirt off the wall with a magic eraser, and it's coming off. And I just said, you have to take the time to clean. And that's what I found people don't do nowadays. Everybody's in a rush.
Oh, yeah. It's get them in and out as fast as possible.
Well,
Right.
there's laziness too.
Right.
People want to collect that money, but they don't want to do the work. in
Right.
it. The work ethic is not as strong as it used to be, I think.
Well, that's
Right.
another question I had for you because you're coming from a very unique perspective. You came in having successfully built this in California. Now you're doing it in San Antonio. And one of the pain points that we hear a lot in service industries especially is finding good workers.
Right.
How have you experienced the difference between California and San Antonio? What are some of your pain points?
I try to find good workers out here. I had to add on Indeed and try to hire people. One girl came out. She said she was, from California as well. She said she was started her own business. So I was like, really, hey, let me bring another business owner on board. I actually did a working interview because I take tips and experiences from my past jobs. So because I'm a dental assistant and I come in and work for Dr. So-and-so and they perform a working interview, that does not mean you're hired. That's just come in and show me what you got. I'll pay you for 8 hours, but show me what you got. And if I don't like you, bye-bye, you're gone. You're not hired. So I took that and said, now I'm going to perform working interviews. I'm not
Smart.
going to
That
have
makes
people
sense,
come
yeah.
in here and pay you for 8 hours because I don't pay per hour. I give a flat rate. So I'm not going to pay Mark $125. And then Heather's like, did he miss the baseboards? What? The oven's still dirty. And I'm like, Mark, what did you do? Because it's messing my brand up.
Right.
So I come in, I set people up for a working interview. You only have 2 hours with me. 2 hours, that's it. Because you can mess up a lot in 2 hours in the house. You can mess up a lot. So the girl came in and she seemed like she was good. But I noticed when I had clients in Garden Ridge. Is that how you say it out here? Garden Ridge.
Yeah.
And Seguin. And she only wanted to work the Seguin one. And I said, no, I have clients. You go wherever I tell you to go. They're on the calendar. They're booked. I need for you to work. I'm going to be at one house. You're going to be at another one. We're going to rotate. That's how we're going to do it. And then finally, she said, I can't do this. I work at a bar. I'm a bartender or something, she said.
Oh.
But that was the second excuse. The first excuse is I'm going to California to visit and get my son or something, and I can't find my driver's license. Okay, but you had 24 hours to look for your driver's license. Like, logical thinker here, why would you look for it at the last minute if you already booked this flight, So I'm on a job, and it's the house I have coming up in McQueenie, and she said, "Oh, I can't make it." I said, "Oh, okay, you're fired." I don't deal well with excuses. That's number one. My mom's the oldest of 12 kids, and I'm the youngest of 5. We don't do excuses. We do not do excuses. Either you want to come in here, you want to make your money, or not. And when I charge my clients, I guarantee my clients for a good service. You're going to get a good service when you come over here. It's not going to be, okay, we're going to send 2 girls and we're going to be here for 2.5 hours. What you going to clean 2.5 hours?
Yeah, right. You're going to be there till it's done.
Right. And I have been at jobs until it's done. It was one house out here, and it seemed okay to me. I got in and I was cleaning, just talking at home. Hey, you're selling your house. How much you selling it for? 1.4 million. Oh, let me make sure this thing's clean. Hold on now. Hold on. Let me make sure. That's a lot of money. Now, when they come in, and whether we're women, what do we look for when we go and we're looking at a house?
Oh,
Bathroom, the kitchen.
Yeah, all the main
We're
points.
opening up cabinets.
How grungy is
we
it?
see one tiny hair in a cabinet. Up, it's dirty.
I used to show houses as a realtor, and
See?
I would tell clients, like, honestly loved it when they were dirty, because I was like, we're going to probably offer lower on this house if they had taken the time to simply I got my friends a house like that just last year, and it was a cute house. I could see the potential in it, but it was grungy.
See?
The walls were dirty. The baseboards were dirty. The floors had just plaster dust everywhere, and they were like, ooh, and I was like, look past the dirt, because we're going to get $20,000 on this list price. And you guys are going to get a great house after I have someone come and clean it afterward. And it was true. After they closed, we cleaned it. It looked great. They painted the walls a better color. Boom. They had a price for $20K over what they agreed to pay for it.
Oh, nice.
But if someone had just taken the time to clean it nice, they probably would have gotten a higher offer on it.
It's like if you're going to sell a car, you clean the car.
Yeah.
Right.
Inside and out.
Yeah. You just don't clean.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. You just don't clean the outside. And then again, I was like, what is this? Like, you missed stuff. And that's how I am, the lady, when she told me that, I was there. I left the house like at 11 o'clock at night, text her. I said, I'll be back tomorrow. She said, you were still there all this time? I said, oh, this house is going to be clean.
I'm sure that she appreciated that
Yeah.
too. Well, outside of employees, what's like the next biggest challenge for you?
The biggest challenge, I would say, getting clients out here. It's kind of been, I've gotten clients because I was on Google local service ads. But just getting natural clients, getting the feedback that I wanted to, is like up and down. It's like this. I thought I was doing it with the 5 stars. Like, hey, like, that's 5-star in Texas. Like, get out of here. You got 5-star. Who cares? California's like, yes, we didn't even search anymore. We seen you. You're the first one that popped up on Google. You got the 5-star. Can we book with you? And Texas is like,
Different, huh? That's interesting that it's the different response. Why do you think that is?
I think it's two things. It's more or less like when I tell them my price, like I told a couple people and I was kind of taken back. I go, okay, yes, I would like to book you for a walkthrough. If you can go on the website and book your book a walkthrough. I'm not doing that. I said, you got to fall in line like the ones that California did. I'm not switching up my routine for you. This is the way it goes. You go to the website, book a walkthrough, and then that walkthrough comes right to my phone, and I show up at your house, and you show me. And
So what's another way to say that, though? I mean, because you sell the benefits of a walkthrough, right? I mean, I'm pointing to you because it's like that's like rather than you have to do it. Well, here's why we do it this way. It's because, I mean, I see that as a next level service when you come out and do a walkthrough.
And my thought is, because, there's the California market is different from the San Antonio market. Are they the right clients for you if they're not even willing to book a walkthrough?
right.
And that's not like all of San Antonio.
It's
No, it's
definitely
not all.
not.
It's just like the couple ones that, reached out to me. They were more or less like, we want you to come and clean. And then I don't come and clean. I mean, now, San Antonio's taught me a lot, believe it or not, with having clients and then not having clients. Because it always has me go back to that drawing board. I erased what I had. Okay, let's change all that. Let's change something new. So I actually have a mentor now in place. And he has told me, like, oh no, Miss Wendy, you don't, if they want done the same day, you don't say no. And I was like, I'm a single parent. What do you mean say no? And he said, no, you want that. You want the same day. You just charge my fee. Oh, you want a same day service? Not a problem. We'll be out there as soon as possible. But now there's a fee in place.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, just had one pay me last week. Show up fee in California. You want me to show up? I can get somebody out there. Okay. The fee is separate from the actual quote. Okay, Miss Wendy. I said, bingo. So I'm taking tips from my mentor on how to tighten up the business even more.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I've heard from other like Californians who have come here in San Antonio is over in California, and please give me your feedback because I haven't done business in California. It's very much transactional. If you've got a product, it meets the quality and price, it's a go.
Right.
Whereas in San Antonio, their feedback is it's a lot more relational. And that's what I have also found here. People need to know, like, and trust you in San Antonio. It's like almost like
it does help
getting to that family level.
Mm-hmm.
How have you experienced that?
Maybe that's why I don't have clients out here.
Are you doing any networking?
I'm a little bit. A little bit. Maybe that is because in California it's a cha-ching.
Well, I know there's a couple groups that I know of. They don't have a cleaning service as part because it's usually like one person holds that spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of business that gets moved around there. So that's something we should talk about. I can get you an invite.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying everything I can. And maybe that is a thing. It's like, because nobody knows me out here and it's oversaturated and people are born and raised here. They already started up their companies. They have their relationships already. And I'm not new to the game, but I am new to San Antonio where when I came before in 2009, I was just an employee. Now I'm a business owner. Mm-hmm. So now I'm trying to build relationships with people. So maybe that might be it.
Well,
we
and
gotta
that's the
get
thing.
you.
Yeah, I would love to have you coming out to our Tuesday group. But what I found in San Antonio is I worked in real estate for years. Never did I ever go on Google to find a cleaning company. First thing I always did was ask someone because it's hit or miss. You never know. There's so many cleaning companies that just hiring one online, you're gambling 50-50. I've done the hire online once and they broke my blinds. Like I was not happy with them. But most people I know, like we have just, cleaning lady that we found years ago, and I sent her to half my friends and family because they just asked, do you have someone cleaning your house? So it is that relational level here in San Antonio. But the quality thing is always a high ticket issue because you'll find, a lot of people complaining about that. So I think there's a good market for your services. It's just changing the way you go about fishing in San Antonio for that business versus California, because it sounds like in California it's just like 5 stars, go. And here it takes that one extra layer of getting under people's skin a little bit, and I think we can do that.
Yeah.
All right, if folks want to get in touch with you, Wendy, how do they do that?
They can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook and IG at Wendy's Cleaning Services. They could find me on Google, but it's going to be Wendy's Cleaning Services, located in Victorville, California. We are at 31 5-star across-the-board reviews.
You need to have can you have a location here in San Antonio too, right?
Not on Google. I think it's only one location.
Per business.
Now, if you can figure that out, let me know.
Well, I have experts that
I
do
think
that.
you have to have an email for the city. Like you have to have a separate email. It doesn't have to be for the city, but one for the San Antonio location, one for the California.
Well, I know
one.
it's solvable. So.
It is, yeah. It's something that can be worked through.
All right, as we wrap the show, quick reminder, check out our latest podcast on, of course, on video or audio. You can catch any of those at our website at satalkradio.com. That's going to be it for us. You guys, thanks a lot for coming in, Wendy. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Great chat.
So
Went by
much.
fast, right?
Yeah.
You did
Went
really
by
good.
really good.
I didn't intimidate you too much.
No, I would like to come back on the show.
And we didn't ask one of these questions on this sheet
I know,
of
we
paper.
did. We just talked. Well, this is like my safety blanket, right? I've got all these questions here in
Just in
case.
case someone
I
just
didn't-
really halts
I
us
didn't even
there.
look at it once.
Nope.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.